Jessica Ewing had written in her diary, "What kind of best friend doesn't help when you need them the most? I am deeply sad today." The word friend itself signifies someone who stands by your side, and Jessica was heartbroken that her best friend refused to help her. Now let me ask you a question. Would you help your best friend no matter the situation? Many might answer, yes, I would. But let's modify the question a little. What if your best friend asked you to help dispose of a dead body? What would you do then? In February 2014, a promising young Nepali woman, Samantha Shrestha, was murdered by Jessica Ewing. Jessica and Samantha were university friends. After committing the murder, Jessica asked her best friend for help in getting rid of Samantha's body. That friend refused. Later, Jessica wrote in her diary, "He is not my best friend because he did not help me." But why did Jessica kill Samantha? Was it jealousy, unrequited love, or a deep-seated mental illness? In today's episode of Somestoriess, we will discuss the Samantha Shrestha murder case, a story where friendship turns into tragedy. It reveals how hidden emotions and unspoken pain can lead to devastating consequences. Before we begin, if discussions of violence, murder, and crime disturb you, please feel free to skip this video. We'll meet again in the next episode. Now, let's begin today's story. Samantha Shrestha was the youngest daughter of Dr. Manik Lal Shrestha and Rajshri Shrestha. When she was 3 years old, her family moved from Nepal to Vienna, Virginia, USA, a place well known for its South Asian community. Raised in a home filled with love, education, and cultural values, Samantha quickly adapted to her new life. She was fluent in both English and Nepali and later became proficient in Spanish, Hindi, and American Sign Language as well. She was intelligent, friendly, and highly ambitious. Her dream was to become a doctor. With this goal in mind, Samantha actively volunteered as an EMT, emergency medical technician, in her community, including at the New River Valley Free Clinic. Her passion for biology, psychology, and public health fueled her desire to bring positive change to the world. But life isn't always easy. In 2008, tragedy struck her family. Samantha's older sister passed away in a motorcycle accident. This heartbreaking loss deeply affected her loved ones, but they tried to move forward. Samantha, determined to chase her dreams, found strength in her late sister's memory, which motivated her even more. She lived in an off-campus apartment in Blacksburg, Virginia, while pursuing her education. Some people can turn their pain into purpose, and Samantha did the same, but even the strongest hearts can sometimes be vulnerable. Tragically, she failed to see the danger coming from someone she trusted. At Virginia Tech University, Samantha's life continued to shine even brighter. She was pursuing a biology degree while specializing in psychology. It was there that she met Scott, a handsome and charming law student who soon became one of the most important people in her life. They were always together, and both families had happily accepted their relationship. Everything seemed perfect. But in 2013, Jessica Ewing entered Samantha's life, and things began to change. Jessica was Samantha's friend at Virginia Tech. She was studying biology and fishery science. But one important detail, Jessica, who was a junior to Samantha, was also a lesbian, and she preferred women over men. However, Jessica feared that her family would never accept her sexuality because she was raised in a strictly religious household. Societal pressure weighed heavily on her, and she struggled with deep internal conflicts. She felt trapped by her own family's beliefs, something she had even written about in her diary. Despite her struggles, she clung to her faith, regularly attending Bible study sessions and maintaining her religious practices. From the outside, Jessica appeared to be a kind and intelligent friend, actively involved in church activities. But beneath her smile, no one saw the pain she carried. According to Jessica, she had been a victim of sexual abuse in her childhood, and in 2013, she attended a party at Virginia Tech, where someone allegedly spiked her drink with drugs and raped her. These traumatic events were not the only burden she carried. Jessica was also under immense stress because she had been expelled from the Virginia Tech Corps of Cadets, a prestigious military training program. The reason? She was accused of hazing another student during physical training. Hazing is a practice where new members of a group are forced to participate in humiliating, risky, or harmful activities under the pretense of initiation. It can involve physical, mental, or emotional abuse, sometimes leading to severe trauma or injury. In many places, hazing is considered illegal. Jessica was expelled from the Corps of Cadets due to hazing. She was also banned from entering the cadet dormitories. Following her expulsion and the alleged rape incident, Jessica fell into deep depression. She sought help from Virginia Tech's Cook Counseling Center, attending multiple therapy sessions. In December 2013, she was prescribed antidepressant medication, but she only took it for about a month before stopping. Let's take a moment to reflect. Unresolved pain doesn't just disappear, it slowly builds up, layer upon layer, until it becomes unbearable. Jessica was carrying intense pain and internal conflict, but instead of seeking true help, she kept burying everything deep inside. Over time, those hidden emotions became like a ticking time bomb, ready to explode. After being distanced from her core of cadets friends, Jessica sank deeper into depression. It was during this time that she met Samantha. Both were biology students, and their first meeting happened outside the classroom, where they started talking about The Lion King. Jessica excitedly shared that it was her favorite movie, while Samantha casually responded, "I've never seen it before." So, they made plans to watch it together. For Jessica, this was their first date, but for Samantha, it wasn't romantic at all. Samantha's boyfriend, Scott, knew that she spent time with Jessica. Not only that, but Samantha even told Scott that she and Jessica had kissed once, out of curiosity. She wanted to know what it felt like to kiss another woman and didn't take it seriously, but for Jessica, it was deeply meaningful. She was at a vulnerable point in her life, searching for a partner, comfort, and emotional connection. Samantha and Jessica met a few more times, sharing a couple of kisses. For Samantha, it was just curiosity, but for Jessica, it meant so much more. Her feelings for Samantha grew stronger and more complicated. But there was one big problem: Samantha loved Scott. In early 2014, Samantha received life-changing news. She had been accepted into Penn State's medical school. Her dream of becoming a skilled doctor was finally coming true. With her focus now on her studies and her relationship with Scott, the kisses with Jessica became nothing more than a forgotten memory for her. But Jessica hadn't forgotten. Her emotions kept growing, unresolved and intense. And on February 7th, 2014, everything shattered. The time bomb finally exploded. Samantha and Jessica planned to cook together and spend time at Samantha's apartment, but things didn't go as planned. Before their so-called date night, Jessica had already sent a chilling message to her friend at 3 a.m. "Tomorrow night will be terrifying. I can't stop these thoughts. They're slowly taking complete control over my dark heart. I wish someone else would decide for me, but I already know what I'm going to do." That night, Jessica arrived specially dressed up, bringing whipped cream and wine, but when she saw Samantha open the door in casual clothes, it disappointed her. Later, Samantha changed into a dress and they tried to make the night fun. They built a blanket fort, played around with whipped cream, and drank a bottle of wine, enjoying the moment. But darkness was looming. Samantha kept texting her boyfriend that night. Some of the messages she sent were, "She hid my phone, love you. We are just meeting as friends." And then, late at midnight, a message came, "I love you, please forgive me, good night." Scott and Samantha always talked before going to sleep, so when Scott saw this last message, he found it strange. He felt something was wrong. He kept calling and messaging Samantha, but she didn't reply. That night, according to Jessica, Ewing and Shrestha had already drunk wine. They were having fun, building a blanket fort and playing with whipped cream while joking around. Later, they got intimate. But then, an argument started. Ewing insulted Shrestha, and Samantha told Jessica that she was only in a relationship with her out of curiosity. Hearing this made Jessica furious. She lost control of herself, and the argument escalated. During the fight, Jessica put Samantha in a chokehold and strangled her to death. That's why, when Scott called, Samantha didn't answer the phone or reply to his messages. Jessica's pain, rejection, and inner struggle completely took over her. In the end, she made a decision, one that could never be undone, a devastating choice. After the murder, Jessica asked her closest friend, Kiefer Kyle Brown, to remove tarot cards and spellbooks from her apartment so that no one would suspect her of the crime. She also asked him to give Shrestha's Mercedes keys to Michael Heller, whom she had called her boyfriend. Brown did what she asked but refused to help remove Samantha's body. Jessica had to do it herself. She placed Samantha's body in the back seat of the Mercedes. She even wrote about it in her diary, saying, "What kind of best friend doesn't help when needed?" Eventually, Brown helped Jessica, but he still refused to touch Samantha's body. The next day, Jessica met her friend Erica Holub. She was extremely stressed. She told Holub that she had killed someone the night before. Holub immediately called Jessica's parents because Jessica was too emotional to speak. While Erica was on the phone with them, Jessica kept screaming, She died. I killed her. After learning about the murder, Jessica's parents came to see her. On Monday, February 10th, 2014, at around 3:45 a.m., Jessica was arrested at the Comfort Inn in Blacksburg, Virginia, where she had been staying with her parents. Meanwhile, when the police searched Samantha's apartment, they found signs of a struggle, bloodstains, and some missing items. Those missing items were later found in Jessica's car. Among them was Samantha's wallet, her EMT bag, a Ganesh idol, a dress Jessica had worn on their date night, and a photo of Samantha with her boyfriend, Scott, which had been hanging on the wall above Samantha's bed. Samantha's Mercedes was found parked in the same spot where Jessica had left it. When officers opened the car's back seat, they found Samantha's naked body inside a sleeping bag. There were bruises on her body and clear signs of strangulation. Inside the sleeping bag, there was also a teddy bear, an orange and maroon torn scarf, a blanket, and a pillowcase containing a blue cloth and a Relay for Life cup. In court, Jessica stated that she had planned to burn Samantha's body, not just to destroy the evidence, but also to give her a final farewell. Every item inside the sleeping bag had a meaning. The teddy bear was something Samantha loved, the Relay for Life cup represented her desire to do good, and the scarf was the one Samantha had been wearing when she first met Jessica. The evidence presented on Thursday showed that Jessica had planned to burn Samantha's body after the murder and was deeply worried about the consequences she would face. One note in her diary read, "Gasoline, must do it tonight." Another note said, "What will happen to my future? Life in prison? Death penalty? Insanity? What have you done for that girl?" Her diary and mobile phone were later found at her parents' home in Eastern Maryland. During the 2015 trial, Judge Robert Turk stated that Jessica's diary entries were a key reason for her severe punishment. She was sentenced to 80 years in prison for Samantha's murder and an additional 5 years for moving the body, which she would have to serve consecutively. However, after 45 years, the remaining sentence would be suspended and she would be released under 20 years of supervision. She was also ordered never to contact Samantha's family. Kiefer Brown was sentenced to 12 months in jail, but his sentence was later reduced to 28 days. During the trial, Jessica was asked, "If a friend asked you for help hiding a body, what would you do?" Without hesitation, she replied, "I would help." This story is not just about a crime, it is a painful reminder of hidden emotions, unheard pain, and the devastating impact of unresolved wounds. It is the story of one young woman who never learned how to express her truth, and another whose dreams were shattered because of it. If you or someone you know is struggling with deep emotional battles, please seek help. Silence can be deadly. Sometimes the most dangerous feelings are the ones that are never spoken. Was Jessica a cold-blooded killer, or was she a ticking time bomb fueled by rejection and unresolved pain? Could this tragedy have been prevented? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for listening to today's episode. Stay safe and see you in the next episode. Peace out.